to my ECI831 Social Media and Open Education Summary of Learning by me, Curtis Barassa. ECI831, we have to do a lot of blogging. Blogging is a major component to this class. It allows us as educators to reflect on our learning, share with others, and connect with others. We read from each other's blog posts and we can learn from each other. That's one of the highlights of the class. I truly never understood the importance of blogging for teachers. As Dean Sharesky says, periods of stagnancy in your blogging start to correspond to periods of stagnancy in your teaching. I would argue that stagnancy of sharing our knowledge through any means leads to the stagnancy of teaching. I believe this because by sharing we are able to reflect on our own teaching practices. We are able to vet and filter resources to better ourselves as educators. It is important that we build a culture of sharing. For us to understand social media today, it is important that we look at social media from the past, so it's time for a history lesson. Prior to 1991, we began to see some degree of the ability to send information without being there. We also know that face-to-face is way more frequent at this time. The fax machine, TV, VCR, floppy disks, and early video game systems have revolutionized how we receive media. 1991 to 2005, we began to see a lot more developments of what it means to become connected. Some of the main developments in this time include MySpace, Skype, LimeWire, MSN Messenger, and dial-up internet. We also see the beginnings of YouTube. 2005 to 2015 is where the big social media boom happened. We see many different social networks launch during this time period. We begin to see a culture of sharing happen. Social media allows people to share what is going on real time. However, this provides a lot of miscommunication and incorrect information. 2015 to today, we see the increased polarization of social media. Many people mistrust the media, and we are seeing the increase of fake news. We also see an increase of people making money off social media, such as influencers on Instagram and YouTubers. We're starting to see a big impact on students' mental health as social media is also creating a culture of comparing. What is our job as educators in a world that looks like this? We, as educators, cannot take social media away from students. We need to model for our students how to use social media appropriately. One way to do this is to encourage students to abide by Joel Westheimer's framework. Westheimer encourages teaching students to be personally responsible citizens, participatory citizens, and a justice-oriented citizen. This also could translate into the digital world, and as Alec and Katia explained in their blog post, we need to encourage more active digital citizenship. One of the key learnings to this course is about open educational resources. I have been familiar with MOOCs for a while, but not so much the concept of open educational resources, meaning allowing everyone access, regardless of barriers, access to quality educational materials leading to a quality education. I spent a lot of time looking at a website called OER Commons. This website allows teachers to create and share resources with each other. Websites like OER Commons should be one of the first stops teachers should make when looking for resources. Throughout the course, I also became more mindful of something called Creative Commons. Creative Commons encourages a culture of sharing. It allows us to share our resources, access resources, and build upon others' resources legally without the worry of copyright infringement. This leads to more equitable and accessible quality materials. Takeaways for me was to learn about open educational practices and how this expands beyond open educational resources. Open educational practices take a look at a teacher's pedagogy. Opportunity to have Dr. Verena Roberts speak to us about open educational practices, or OEPs. We discussed how OEPs expand learning opportunities from formal to informal learning practices. It also involves co-designing and communication through multi-literacies to teach curriculum. Despite not knowing much about OEPs, I was surprised to know that I follow many open educational practices, or have at least fallen on the continuum of beginning implementing these practices. For example, I have myself built a PLN, and I have also co-designed learning with my learners and with other teachers. Open learning is all about making it relevant for our students. It goes beyond the learning that students are doing in the classroom. OEP is all about designing for sharing. Technology allows us to connect, organize, share, collect, collaborate, and publish. This leads to 21st century learning skills such as collaboration, creativity, communication, and critical thinking. We need to be modeling these skills for our students. Social media provides avenues for educators to teach about these important skills. In conclusion, I thoroughly enjoyed the many opportunities that this course has given me. I am grateful for all our guest speakers, Verena Roberts on open educational practices, and Meeting Rami for showcasing Minecraft, and a special thank you to Dean for allowing me to come into his classroom to observe Minecraft in action. Because of these experiences, I have grown as a professional in education, and I will share my knowledge with others as well. Thank you, Alec, for being an excellent professor and facilitating our discussions every Thursday. If my video is a bit long, please refer to the summary of learning following my credits.
Nope.